Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all doing very, very well. It's library book haul time. Oh my god, it's so heavy. I went to my library to pick up some holds that I had on. It's been a while since I've been to the library because I've been on holiday and I didn't have any books out from the library for a while before then. And they were also pleased to see me, which was lovely. So I've got a big bag here full of library books. Some that will be added to next month's TBR, because we all know that next month, you may well know that next month I'm going to be reading Agatha Christie books, and there's some books in here which are Agatha Christie books or inspired by Agatha Christie, and some books I may well even add to this month's TBR, because I'm excited to read them. I've also got, you might know that I'm a member of two different libraries, one near where I live and one near where I work, and I've also got some books out from the one near where I live that I haven't watched the video, but it doesn't look as though I've done a library haul for a while, so I will include those at the end in case I have mentioned them and you're all like, yawn, boring. But let's get on with these ones here. So first of all, this one looks Agatha Christie-ish, doesn't it? A Talent for Murder by Andrew Wilson. You, Mrs. Christie, are going to commit a murder, but before then, you are going to disappear. Libraries, both of the libraries that I'm a member of, have a lot of books in large font, which is very helpful for me because I read with glasses, but when I'm in the bath and I've not got my glasses on, or even when I'm at bed, I could easily read that without my glasses. So very, very good. So this is a book about Agatha Christie, a fiction book about Agatha Christie. During her life, Agatha Christie went missing for a few days, and there's been a number of sort of books and stuff about that. One of which I've read, called The Christie Affair, and I very much enjoyed that. I read that between Christmas and New Year a couple of years ago and very much enjoyed it. I also lent it on to my mother and she enjoyed that. But this is another book about that period in time. Agatha Christie, in London to visit her literary agent, boards a train preoccupied and flustered in the knowledge that her husband Archie is having an affair. She feels a light touch on her back, then a sense of someone pulling her to safety from the rush of an incoming train. So begins a terrifying sequence of events. Her rescuer is no guardian angel. He is a blackmailer of the most insidious and manipulative kind. Agatha must use every ounce of her cleverness and resourcefulness to thwart an adversary determined to exploit her genius for a murder to kill on his behalf. So yeah, that's obviously going on the old TBR for next month. This one I am excited to read. This is, obviously I'm excited to read all of them. I've put reservations on. This one, what I am saying is that I may well add this to the TBR this month. So this is Friendaholic by Elizabeth Day, Confessions of a Friendship Addict. I've listened to Elizabeth's podcast on and off throughout the years, as long as it's been going, and I've read previous books of hers and have enjoyed them. I haven't read any of her fiction stuff. I should do something about that. But yeah, this one's all about friendships. I find friendships very interesting, having been in many myself, but it says here, I think this is quite, well, I'll read you the blurb and then we'll discuss it. So, as a society, there's a tendency to elevate romantic love, but what about friendships? Aren't they just as, if not more, important? Why is it so hard to find the right words to express what these uniquely complex bonds mean to us? In Friendaholic, Confessions of a Friendship Addict, Elizabeth Day embarks on a journey to answer these questions. As a child, Elizabeth wanted to make everyone like her. I've been there. Lacking friends at school, she grew up believing that quantity equaled quality. Having lots of friends meant you were loved, popular and safe. She was determined to become a good friend, capital letters. And in many ways, she succeeded. But in adulthood, she slowly realised that it was often to the detriment of her own boundaries and mental health. Then, when a global pandemic hit in 2020, remember that, she was one of many who were forced to reassess what friendship really meant to them. And with the crisis came a dawning realisation. Her truest friends were not always the ones she had been spending the most time with. Why was this? Could she rebalance it? Was there such a thing as too many friends? What was it like to have none at all? And was she really the friend she thought she was? So yeah, it unpacks the significance and evolution of friendship, from exploring our own personal friendships and the distinct importance of each of them, to the unique and powerful insights on others across the globe. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really interesting. I'm looking forward to reading this, to hear about different people's friendships. I celebrate many of my friendships, but as I've got older, I've found that I've got less and less friends, and I'm interested to hear what Elizabeth has to say on that as well. Not in a falling out with people, less and less friends situation, but in a situational thing, I think. So sometimes, I've got friendships with like people who I won't speak to. I'll speak to them maybe once a year and we'll see each other once a year. And we literally pick up exactly where we left off and it's all perfect and wonderful. And then I've got people that I speak to every single day. And all of these friendships have such different influence on me, and there's people I turn to for advice, and there's people I turn to chat with and to laugh with and everything. And I'm really aware of how lucky I am to have these friendships in my life. So yeah, excited to read this. This, like I said, I think I'm going to add this to my TBR for this month because I think it's important. Then I've got Happy Place by Emily Henry. This looks very summery, doesn't it? Happy Place, Emily Henry, the author also of Beach Read, Book Lovers, and You and Me on Vacation. I thought this would be a great summer read. Harriet and Wynne are the perfect couple. They go together like bread and butter, gin and tonic. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Every year they take a holiday from their lives to drink too much wine with their favourite people in the world, except this year they are lying through their teeth because Harriet and Wynne broke up 6 months ago and they still haven't told anyone. But the cottage is for sale, so this is the last time they'll all be here together. They can't bear to break their friend's heart, so they'll fake it for one more week. But how can you pretend to be in love and get away with it in front of the people who know you best? Like I said, I feel like this is quite a good summer read, and I'm aware that next month I'm reading Agatha Christie stuff, so yes, this is going on the TBR for this month. Oh, she's dropped it. And then we've got another book where the title will give away that it's being read next month. That's the Agathas. This is a teen book, and I've been aware of this for a while. This was one of the books that sort of nudged me into thinking I would like to do Augusta Christie and read Agatha Christie books in August. So the most popular girl in the school is dead and everyone is blaming the wrong guy. After falling from grace last summer, Agatha Christie obsessed Alice Ogilvy needs to stay out of trouble, while smart and reclusive Iris Adams just wants to get the hell out of Castle Cove. But now they have a murder to solve. There are clues the police are ignoring, a list of suspects a mile long, and some very dangerous cliffs. Amateur detectives Alice and Iris are about to uncover just how many secrets their sleepy seaside town is hiding. I just think that sounds great fun. And great that there's like teen books that feature Agatha Christie. Then, she's digging in again. Another one. So I'm not sure this is going to be for me, but we'll give it a go because I think you can't talk about Agatha Christie without also all of these books are going to be appearing on the old TBR, so you'll get more in depth about them then. You can't talk about Agatha Christie without mentioning this sort of Agatha Raisin character, who is a creation of MC Beaton. There's a whole series of these, plus a TV series, which is on Sky now. And I believe this is the first one, Agatha Christie and the Quiche, Agatha Raisin, sorry, and the Quiche of Death. The whole series is called The Queen of the Village. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to be a bit too sugary for me. We'll see. Agatha's baking is to die for. High-flying public relations supremo Agatha Raisin has decided to take early retirement. She's off to make a new life in a picture-perfect Cotswold village. To make friends, she enters the local quiche making competition, and let me tell you, I do really like quiche. And to make sure, quite sure of first prize, she secretly pays a visit to a London deli. Alas, the competition judge succumbs after tasting her perfect quiche, and Agatha is revealed as a cheat and a potential poisoner. Definitely not the best start, so Agatha must turn amateur sleuth. She's absolutely got to track down the real killer. Sounds a bit Midsummer Murders type thing. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. Very popular, like I say, hugely popular. Another one, another Agatha Christie book. This is Murder at Mallowan Hall, a Philinda Bright mystery by Colleen Cambridge. So this is set in the home of Agatha Christie. So whilst not written by Agatha Christie, it's set in where Agatha Christie lived in Mallowan Hall. Tucked away among Devon's rolling green hills, Mallowan Hall combines the best of English tradition with the modern conveniences of 1930. Housekeeper Philinda Bright manages, so that must be that we follow her, it's a series, manages the large household with an iron fist in her very elegant glove. The manor is a home to archaeologist Max Mallowan and his famous wife Agatha Christie. Philinda is both loyal to and protective of the crime writer, who is as much a friend as an employer. An aficionado of detective fiction, Philinda has yet to find a gentleman in real life half as fascinating as Mrs. Agatha's Belgian hero, Hercule Poirot. But though accustomed to murder and its methods as frequent topics of conversation, Philinda is unprepared for the sight of a very real, very dead body on the library floor. Again, another one in large text. Then we've got, then we've got my purse, which I've been looking for because I couldn't get my Boots Advantage points yesterday. Two more left before we move on to those ones. One Agatha Christie related, one not. This one I saw on Jean's Best Books of the Year so far. This is This Poison Height by Kaylin Bayron, who's the author of Cinderella is Dead, amongst other things. But Jean was raving about this, so I thought, well, we'll give it a go. To break an ancient curse, she must let her power bloom. Bryceus has a gift. It's a retelling. She can grow an apple tree from a seed in a heartbeat and flowers bloom at her touch. And when she inherits an old house, she suddenly has the privacy to test her powers for the first time. But as Bree starts to magic the house's rambling grounds back to life, she finds she has also inherited generations of secrets. In a hidden garden overgrown with the most deadly poisonous plants on earth, a dark legacy lies waiting for her. Bree's long departed ancestors won't let her rest until she finds it. There we go. Contemporary fantasy about knowing where you come from and stepping into your power. There we go. And then the last one that's going on the Agatha Christie TBR for next month is this, Linda LaPlante. I don't think I've ever... Linda LaPlante, massively successful UK author from Liverpool. She trained for the stage at RADA and worked with the National Theatre before becoming a television actress. Oh, well, there we go. But now she's a hugely popular writer. And there are so many Linda LaPlante books, and so many are in different series and stuff, I never really know when to start. But this series introduces the detective Jack War. So this is the beginning of a series. This is called Buried. Something Should Remain Buried. It's actually a bit bigger than I thought it was going to do. I had one of my work colleagues who's now retired, loved Linda LaPlante, and I remember her always having a little book with her, and they were always quite slim little things. But yeah, let's give this a go, because it's sort of, I think Linda LaPlante has been inspired by Agatha Christie in a sort of thrilling way. It says here, a burnt out cottage, a fortune buried in the ashes, a body that could solve a decades old crime. DC Jack War and his girlfriend Maggie have just moved to London to start a new life together. Though charming, Jack can't seem to find his place in the world until he's drawn into an investigation that turns his life upside down. In the aftermath of a fire at an isolated cottage, a badly charred body is discovered, along with the burnt remains of millions of stolen, untraceable banknotes. Jack's search leads him deep into a murky criminal underworld, a world he finds himself surprisingly good at navigating. But as the line of the law becomes blurred, how far will Jack go to find the answers, and what will it cost him? There we go. The gripping first book in a brand new thriller series by the Queen of Crime Drama. We'll see. There we go. Then I've got, as I said, 3 that I've got out from the library before holiday, but I can't feel like I've mentioned these, but I'll just briefly go over them. So I've got Small Worlds by Caleb Azuma Nelson, who was the author of Open Water. I didn't love Open Water. I listened to it on audiobook, expecting to love it because I'd heard such good things, and I just didn't really connect to it. But let's see how we get on with this. So it says, the one thing that can solve Stephen's problems is dancing. Already I'm invested. Dancing at church with his parents and brother, the shimmer of black hands raised in praise. He might have lost his faith, but he does believe in rhythm. Dancing with his friends somewhere in a basement with the drums about to drop while the DJ spins garage cuts. Dancing with his band, this sounds so joyful, making music that speaks not just to the hardships of their lives but the joys too. Dancing with his best friend Adeline, two-stepping across the living room, crooning and grooving so close their heads might touch. Dancing alone at home to his father's records, uncovering parts of a man he had never truly known. Stephen has only ever known himself in song, but what becomes of him when the music fades, when his father begins to speak of shame and sacrifice, when his home is no longer his own? How will he find a space for himself, a place where he can feel beautiful, a place he might feel free? Perfect reading for now, because it's set over the course of 3 summers in Stephen's life, from London to Ghana and back again. Oh, nice. That's going on the TBR for now. That sounds, like I said, joyful. Then we've got Busy Being Free, Starting on Your Own Again by Emma Forrest. What happens when your story doesn't end the way you thought it was? When you realise after getting married and having a baby with someone that you chose wrong? When the life you dreamt of becomes something you must walk away from? And when you find yourself not lonely but elated to be alone with yourself? Busy Being Free is the most romantic book you will ever read about the end of a relationship. A memoir about love and heartbreak, marriage and divorce, and what comes after that. It's a memoir. It sounds great. Great people on the front here. Beautiful, says Nigella Lawson. I adored it, says Dolly Alderton. Wonderful, says Lisa Tadeo. And intoxicating, says Abby Morgan. Interesting. I can't remember where I got the recommendation for that, but who knows. And then lastly, I've got A House for Alice by Diana Evans, who is the author of Ordinary People, which won the Women's Prize for Fiction some years ago, I think. So yeah, after 50 years in the wilderness of London, Alice wants to live out her days in the land of her birth. Her children are divided on whether she stays or goes, and in the wake of their father's death, the imagined stability of the family begins to fray. Meanwhile, youngest daughter Melissa has never let go of the love she lost, and Michael, in return, even within the sturdy walls of his marriage to the sparkling Nicole, is haunted by the failed perfection of the past. As Alice's final decision draws closer, all that is hidden between Melissa and her sisters, Michael and Nicole, rises to the surface. Set against the shadows of Grenfell and a country in turmoil, these ordinary people confront fundamental questions: how to raise our children, how to do right by our parents, and how in the midst of everything do we satisfy ourselves. There we go. That's going on the TBR for this month. as well. So there we go, some books for next month to read, some books for this month to read. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know what books you've got out from your library recently, and I'll see you all again soon for another booktube video. Goodbye.